Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to Trinity Stamps and a new card making video. Today I am playing with this adorable Frosty Cafe stamp set and creating a winter scene that has a shaker on it. I love shaker cards, so I thought this would be a fun image to create a shaker with. But first, I am starting out with this snowfall frame that fits a 5x7 card front. I am cutting out the middle. You can cut this so the middle stays intact or use the die in the center to cut it out. So that's what I'm doing. And then I am using my Cocktail Party Distress Mica Spray Stain to spray on this pink paper to give it that nice mica shine. Setting that aside to dry, and now I'm going to stamp out this stamp. That is one image. This is just a one-piece stamp set. It's a 4x3 set, and it is so darling with this little snowman and his little booth, and he has all kinds of frosty beverages, and it's really fun and pretty simple to color out. So I'm only going to use a few Copic markers to color mine. I will bring in a few more than what is seen here. Sometimes I think I'm going to keep it really simple, and then I feel like, oh, I better pull out a few more colors. So that's what I did. I'm using this E27. I'll use that on the side of this booth and then also on some of the drinks and his little twig arms, which are so cute. I'm using B000 for the awning here and just leaving it blue and white. And I am only using one color, but you can see I'm really concentrating the color at the top of the awning and then blending that out with just one layer of the ink, and you can see I've got nice shading there and I really love that look. Okay, so now the pink. Okay, the pink I picked I thought was gonna match my pink frame like really well, and it was quite bright, like almost neon. But I have this like motto is just keep going. So that's what I did. I just kept coloring even though I felt like this is not quite the color that I was going for. But I did. I kept going. And then later I do bring in, this is RV06. I believe I brought in R43 and then even R27, added a little bit more red to all the things that I'm coloring pink. So it's gonna like kind of tone it down a little bit. Yeah. For his carrot nose, I didn't want like a bright, vibrant orange, so I'm using YR02, and that just gave me a little bit softer look, and I really like how that turned out. So now I'm coloring his little twig arms. You'll see one is bent and one is holding the tray, and I just think it's really cute. So for the snowman himself, I kind of wanted to do blue, but that blue, that B000, became more of a color in my scene, so I brought out my cool gray markers, C2 and C0 for the snow. And I do end up using that for the tray and a bowl and the little stand for the ice cream cone there. And so that was a good addition to the colors that I'm using. And now it's time to add some white highlights. Even here, I hadn't toned down the pink yet. I even think after cutting it out, like I just needed to do something. So anyways, you'll see it's still the original pink here, but in the final pictures, maybe you can notice the pink is a little less vibrant. So there's the image, and I have the coordinating die, which is a pretty cool die because it cuts out, you know, the outer edge, but also in and around the scene itself, which is what actually allowed me to turn this into a shaker. So since it has the excess around the snowman removed. You see that? It's so cool. I love that die. Okay, I need a background for my frame to sit on, and I wanted it to kind of look like maybe the sky. So when I do blending for my sky, I'm just using one color, tumbled glass, but I don't want it just solid blue, or I'd use a piece of blue cardstock, right? I want little areas that are darker, areas that are a little bit white, areas that are lighter, and that to me looks more like a sky. Now, a lot of this is going to be covered up, so it does not have to be perfect at all. I am going to spritz it with water, which just kind of softens out some of the lines, and it is going to give me, you know, those little splattered water droplets. I love that look. But while that's drying, I want to create my shaker. So I have a window sheet here. It's about 3¼ inch by 3 inches. And then it's time to add the foam tape all the way around to hold in my shaker elements. So I am using the new foam strips available at the Trinity stamp shop, and I'm going to put 4 strips, creating a nice square that touches on all sides to hold in those shaker bits. And for my shaker bits, I am using Bubblemint clay embellishments. These are like peppermint candies, but it has red, pink, and white in them, which goes perfect with my card. And then I'm going to use some pink seed beads here, and that's going to help the clay elements just move around a little bit and add a little icy, sugary look, I think. Yeah, I love it. And there you can hear the shaker. I just love that part. Okay, now I'm going to take my snowflake frame and glue that down to my sky-like background. And that is going to, like I said, most of it's going to be covered up. So I didn't really have to worry too much about, you know, the clouds or the sky being perfect, but I really love how it looks in the end. So that's glued together. Now I'm adding my shaker to my card. Now I covered up my shaker with another window sheet to trap those shaker bits inside, and then you can see all the way through my shaker and see that really cool sky background. I am taking this fabulous die set, also from Trinity Stamps, and creating some peppermint candies. I cut one from red and one from white, and then I can just offset these, and then you can see I have my paper peppermint candy. I did 4 of those, popping them up in each corner with a foam square. I think it's just a really fun touch to the card, and I wanted them to stand out a little bit more. So I'm using some glaze that's like crystal accents or glossy accents, and covering each of the peppermint candies, I'm going to put a few little spots and lines onto my stand as well. And this is going to not only dry crystal clear, but it's going to act as an adhesive for me to add some glitter. And I think that's really going to add to this card. So for my glitter, I'm using Distress Rock Candy glitter, and I'm going to sprinkle that all over. I like to use a metal spoon to sprinkle it on. This is just like a measuring spoon because it doesn't add to any static to the glitter. And by the way, this glitter is not very staticky to begin with, which I absolutely love. It really falls off the card and doesn't stick to other places very much at all. So I love that about this glitter. And then it's just time to let that dry before I can add this to my card base, right? We need that to be dry. While it's drying, I'm going to cut out some sentiment pieces. The same die set has a Sweet Wishes. I'm going to add the word holiday to that. So I'm die cutting out the word holiday from the Simply Sentimental Holiday die set, which you can use with or without the stamp set. I thought I would use the die that is the shadow layer as a guide to glue down my letters, but I have this problem where things like this actually hinder me more than they help me. Like using a ruler to get a straight look, I really just have to eyeball things. So, or if you're an eyeball it type of person, let me know in the comments below, because you can see struggle. And finally, I just pitched the die and went for it. So yeah, now you'll see I'm just gonna eyeball it, and for some reason that works for me. And now I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I don't get things all the way straight, but it just is easier for me and less stressful to eyeball it. So I added down all the letters. I omitted the Y because it didn't go with the saying I was trying to create, which I love that these letters are cut out individually, and I could do that. So now it's going to say Sweet Holiday Wishes. By the way, that Sweet Wishes I did die cut from some black glitter paper, and I love that look. A little bit of that glitter carried over onto the inside of the card, and I did not lose the dot to the I. I was so excited. It's so tiny. And now I'm gluing this onto my 5x7 card base. I actually cut this just a hair larger than 5x7 because I wanted a little bit of a white border, and I did have to cut down the frame a little bit because my blue background was showing on 2 sides, and so that made it a hair smaller. and perfect for my card base. So here you can see the glitter up close. It's all dry now, and you can see the mica on my background when you turn it in the light. I just love that. Then you shake it and you've got this fun sentiment on the inside, and I'm just really pleased with how this card turned out. I think you can't really go wrong with that Frosty Cafe stamp set. It is so super cute. I'm gonna have all the things I used today linked for you in the description box below so you can check that out, all these fun products from Trinity Stamps. And I will see you guys again very soon on the next video. But until then, make sure you check us out on Instagram and Facebook too. Happy stamping! Bye!